Hluttaw. Welcome to Myanmar Today. I'm Henry Zin. We've got the latest news and reports. For those who are following, Hluttaw continues discussing the Constitution Amendment Bill. People rushing to supermarkets and pharmacies to buy every healthcare item they can find in bulk when an epidemic strikes, an effort China is putting in to meet the face masks demand. For golf enthusiasts, a story coverage on YANGON Golf Club 2020 annual at-home and members tournament. In pursuit of further studies for Myanmar students, Myanmar-China Friendship Association awards scholarships to 105 Myanmar students. We'll get to the reports in a while, but before that, let's take a look at the local news. The Central Committee on Prevention, Control and Treatment of 2019 Novel Coronavirus organized its second meeting at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in Naypyidaw Tuesday. Union Minister for International Cooperation Hluttaw, in his capacity as the chairman of the Central Committee, updated the situations of COVID-19 which has occurred in over 60 countries and called for effective measures. At the special ASEAN-China Foreign Ministers meeting on coronavirus disease held in Vientiane, Laos PDR, on 19th of February, China requested its partner countries to avoid excess control measures not to hurt people-to-people relations, trade and investments. Citing the instructions of Myanmar State Councillor, the Union Minister also discussed bringing back Myanmar illegal migrant workers from China in coordination between the two countries and healthcare services for them in the respective areas of the country. He also called for finding ways to lessen the impacts of the COVID-19 on the economy, trade, commerce and employment opportunities. Union Minister for Health and Sports, Dr. Myan Tway, in his capacity as the joint chairman of committee, presented the measures of his office against the disease in coordination with relevant ministries across the country. While it has been advised not to organize large public events where screening of disease is to be carried out very tightly, the Union Minister alerted the evolving situation of the virus in the world with the increasing death rate of 3.6% like navigating the way to uncharted territory. A coordination meeting at the Ministry of Social Welfare, Relief and Resettlement Tuesday discussed promoting the inclusion of people living with disabilities in the hotels and travel sector. Union Minister Dr. Wimya A., who's also the Vice Chairman of the National Committee on Rights of Persons with Disabilities, said the hotels and tourism business supports the socio-economic development of the nation. He said the Union government places as much importance on ensuring the rights of persons with disabilities as developing the hotels and tourism sector. A report released by the World Bank states that the people most interested in the global travel business are persons with disabilities and the elderly. The Union Minister said the Ministry of Construction is to make public buildings and its environment more accessible for persons with disabilities. Union Minister for Natural Resources and Environmental Conservation, Wong Win, visited Hluttaw Wildlife Sanctuary in Magway region Monday. He observed the lake where the elks, deer and birds come to drink water, the star tortoise breeding camp and the elephant camp. The Union Minister inspected the sandalwood planted by the Forest Department at Sandalwood Monastery in Puinpu Township. He then observed the 30-acre plantation and 20-acre plantation in Puinpu Township and then arrived at the Kanroji Lake in the Wildlife Sanctuary. The Union Minister discussed how to ensure there is adequate water for the deer during the dry season, to systematically record water donors and utilize them effectively, to keep a record of the deer population, planting edible plants and fruits for the deer along the lake, planting evergreen plants and monitoring human entry into the sanctuary and looking out for fire hazards. Chair of the Myanmar Watermelon and Muskmelon Producers and Exporters Association, Nai Win, said China has resumed the purchase of watermelons and muskmelons from Myanmar, but there has been no demand for seedless watermelons so far. He said, on account of the coronavirus outbreak, exports of watermelons and muskmelons to China have dropped, with losses pegged at $70 million over a month. That's all with the local news, and here's the first report on Myanmar Today. The discussion on Constitution Amendment Bill has already been held for 5 days of session in Hluttaw on Tuesday, which is the 16th day of 2nd Hluttaw's 15th regular session. Till the 5th day, altogether 101 Hluttaw representatives have participated in the discussion out of 149 proposed representatives.
Starting from 25th February, Hluttaw has been discussing the Second Amendment Bill of 2008 Constitution. It has been 5 days of session since the beginning of the discussion about Constitution Amendment Bill, and the representatives have been debating the controversial issues of the Amendment Bill. Altogether, 149 Hluttaw representatives proposed to discuss, and on the 16th day of Second Hluttaw's 15th regular session, 22 Hluttaw representatives participated in the discussion. Most of the Hluttaw representatives mentioned the issues concerning the appointment of the chief ministers and ministers of the regions or states, which is controversial between being appointed by the president or being selected by the respective Hluttaws. The representatives also presented this point in line with the Hluttaw representatives' participation in Hluttaws. One of the most debatable issues, Section 59F, which defines the qualifications of president and vice presidents, was also mentioned. It is controversial to dismiss the session or to keep the session the same or to relate it to the qualifications of union ministers, chief ministers, and ministers of regions or states. Formation of the National Defense and Security Council was also mentioned, whether to add deputy speakers of the Hluttaw and Hluttaw as the council member. Hluttaw representatives also highlighted the two sessions to remain unchanged, which are Section 338, stating that all the armed forces in the Union shall be under the command of the defense services. And another one is Section 339, stating that the defense services shall lead in safeguarding the Union against all internal and external dangers.
I believe
that amending the Constitution is to be better matched with the democracy criteria. The amending procedures have to lead to the right directions to reach to the final goal desired by the citizens. We have to notice that the amendment should not reduce or limit the current rights of the citizens.
The amendment of the 2008 Constitution plays an important role in the democracy journey of Myanmar. It is highly interested by the citizens by gathering in the towns to show the support to the amendment.
When conducting a law, it is necessary to be balanced, acceptable by the majority, and it should be long-lasting. The unfair law is not accepted by the citizens, so that it should be amended. The Constitution is the chief of all the laws of the country. Therefore, the Constitution should be related to the state laws and be acceptable by citizens so that it would be long-lasting.
Out of 149 proposed Hluttaw representatives, 101 Hluttaw representatives have already participated in the discussion. This is Hluttaw Zin reporting from MI Radio.
That's a report on Hluttaw continuing discussion on the Constitution Amendment Bill. All right, we'll carry on with the next report here on Myanmar Today. China is the world's largest producer of face masks, with a reported daily capacity of 20 million pieces. However, the mounting concern over the super spreader coronavirus provokes the high demand for face masks and protective clothing. To meet the shortfall, some Chinese companies in unrelated industries have started making masks. Akacho reached out to Hluttaw from China Media Group, CRI Myanmar Department.
With the coronavirus outbreak, the demand for the face mask has been on the rise day by day. China is the world's largest producer of them, with a reported daily capacity of 20 million pieces. But by the estimate of its manufacturers, domestic demand alone is around 50 to 60 million per day. Despite some experts doubting the effectiveness of such masks for stopping transmission, it does not put a damper on demand due to the widespread concern mounting across the globe. Retailers on multiple continents are running out of masks, and prices for a box of masks on online retailers like Amazon have surged to hundreds of dollars. Most importantly, the face mask demand in China is the pressing issue amidst the intense virus outbreak. For more on the need of the face masks and the efforts taken to meet the demand, MI Radio reached out to Hluttaw from China Media Group in Beijing.
YANGON မြန်မာဒီလိုမျိုးယောဂဖြစ်ပွားတဲ့အချိန်ကနေစပြီးတော့ပေါ့နော်အခုဒါယောဂထိန်းချုပ်တဲ့အနေအထားဒီကာလတစ်ခုကိုရောက်လာတဲ့အချိန်မှာဒီလိုမျိုးနှာခေါင်းစည်းတွေမပြတ်လက်ဖို့အတွက်ဆိုရင်အခုနောက်ပိုင်းမှာဒီကားကမ်ပဏီတွေကနေစပြီးတော့ဒီနှာခေါင်းစည်းတွေထုတ်လုပ်လာတာကိုတွေ့ရတယ်ဒီကားကမ်ပဏီဟာဆိုရင်အရင်တော့မော်တော်ကားပစ္စည်းတွေထုတ်လုပ်တဲ့ကမ်ပဏီပေါ့
To meet the shortfall, some Chinese companies in unrelated industries have started making masks. Foxconn, which manufactures Apple's iPhones in China, has switched some of its production to masks. The company aims to produce 2 million units a day by the end of the month. Others, like an automaker in South China Guangxi Autonomous Region, are making masks too.
တွေပေါ့နော်သူတို့ကိုယ်တာသူတို့တီထွင်ပြီးတော့နှာခေါင်းစည်းတွေကိုထုတ်လုပ်လာတာ9ရက်အတွင်းမှာတင်နှာခေါင်းစည်းသက်သက်သူတို့ထုတ်လုပ်နိုင်ခဲ့တယ်လို့ဒါစည်ရင်းတွေအရှာသိရတယ်ဒါအပြင်အစိုးရဘက်ကနေပြီးတော့လေဒီနှာခေါင်းစည်းပေါ့နော် N95 လို့ဒီစေးဝင်တန်းတွေအသုံးပြုတဲ့ဒီနှာခေါင်းစည်းတွေကိုအစိုးရဒီအဖွဲ့အစည်းတွေကနေပြီးတော့ဒါဦးစားပေးပြီးတော့ထုတ်လုပ်တာကိုတွေ့ရတယ်
Chinese mask makers were only operating at 76% capacity in mid-February, according to Chinese officials, which puts daily production at around 5 million pieces, fewer than the 20 million maximum. The country's output of N95 respirators, which are often worn by medical workers for additional production, is even lower at 200,000 a day, given the more complex technology and materials required to make them. She also explained the help China's neighbor Myanmar provides for masks and other protective clothing.
ဒီမြန်မာနိုင်ငံကနေလေဒီမြန်မာတမတော်ဘက်ကနေဒီတရုတ်နိုင်ငံအတွက်ပေါ့နော်နှာခေါင်းစည်းအကာ9000ဒီမျက်မှန်အကာ9000နောက်စေးုံသုံးပစ္စည်းနဲ့အကာအင်ဂျီတွေကိုလေဒါပေးပို့လှူဒန်းခဲ့တာကိုတွေ့ရတယ်ဖေဖော်ဝါရီလ25ရက်နေ့ပေါ့နော်မှာဆိုရင်ဒီဝူဟန်မြို့ကိုအဲ့ဒီဒီစေယုံသုံးပစ္စည်းတွေလှူဒန်းတဲ့ဒီမြန်မာနိုင်ငံကနေလှူဒန်းတဲ့ပစ္စည်းတွေကဝူဟန်ကိုရောက်ရှိလာခဲ့ပြီဖြစ်ပါတယ်ဒီတရုတ်နဲ့မြန်မာနိုင်ငံဆိုတာလေဒါချစ်ကြည်ရင်းနှီးမှုရှိတဲ့နိုင်ငံတွေဆွေမျိုးပေါက်ဖော်เนาะနိုင်ငံတွေဖြစ်တဲ့တယောက်ကဒီလိုဖျားနာနေတဲ့အချိန်မှာတယောက်ကဖေးကူရမယ်အနေအထားဖြစ်နေတယ်
Unable to produce enough of the protective gear to meet its own demand, Beijing has also been sourcing the medical masks from overseas. Indonesian officials said at the beginning of February that China had placed large orders for Indonesian-made masks, equating to as much as 3 months of production, and Vietnam has exported huge quantities of masks to China. There are reports that Chinese traders have started sourcing supplies in markets as far away as Kenya and Tanzania. This is Agajo reporting for Myanmar International Radio.
That's a report on effort China is putting in to meet the face masks demand. Now let's have a look at the currency rates from Myanmar Central Bank and the stock exchange. $1 is at 1,427 kyats. 1 Chinese renminbi is at 204 kyats. 1 euro is at 1,586 kyats. 1 pound sterling is at 1,822 kyats. 1 Singapore dollar is at 1,024 kyats. 1 Malaysian ringgit is at 339 kyats. 1 Thai baht is at 45 kyats and the Indian rupee is at 19 kyats. Gold is trading at $1,643. Silver is at $16. And Brent crude oil is at $47. On the Yangon Stock Exchange, FMI dropped 500 and it's at 11,500. MTSH dropped 50 and it's at 3,900. MCB is at 8,400. FPB dropped 500 and it's at 22,500. TMH went up 50 and it's at 2,900. Stay with us as we bring you more reports on Myanmar Today. Yangon Golf Club celebrated its 111th YGC 2020 annual at-home and members tournament. The tournament was held for 5 titles: veteran, lady, bronze, silver and gold. One of the main objectives of the Yangon Golf Club is to pass on the compelling spirit of fellowship, understanding and cooperation among the members to the next generation. YGC is popularly known as the premier golf club of Myanmar, in recognition of its historical background. Let's take a look at the report.
Yangon Golf Club, located on Kayibin Street, the Yangon Ward, in St. Township, Yangon Region, celebrated its 111 Yangon Golf Club 2020 annual at-home and members tournament for 2 consecutive days on 29 February and 1st March. Udin, president of YGC 2020 annual at-home and members tournament committee, said,
We celebrate a home tournament for the members of Yangon Golf Club every year. It is a form of acknowledgement by Yangon Golf Club for the member players. The tournament was held for 5 titles, which were veteran, lady, bronze, silver, and gold. Here we had professional golf players, so we also planned another tournament for the professional golf players who were also members of Yangon Golf Club. We had to split the tournament into 2 days for the players because over 300 players were registered to compete in the tournament. I took responsibility as the president of YGC for 4 years. Year after year, member players participated in the tournament have been increasing. The more member players participate in the tournament, the more pride our golf club will take.
According to Udin, one of the main objectives of Yangon Golf Club is to pass on the compelling spirit of fellowship, understanding, and cooperation among the members to the next generation. The golf event started from 6 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. on 29 February, and 1st March, tournament started from 11:30 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. There were over 300 players this year. The players participated in the tournament, including 7-hole double fault, 1-stick tournament, and putting. Shane Tansui, who is the staff of Yangon Golf Club, said,
Our tournament is an 18-hole event. We will calculate the total score for 2 days, and the member players who get the highest score will be awarded the golf accessories.
Umintana, one of the players for the tournament, said,
I am a member player in this Yangon Golf Club, and so I was invited to participate in the tournament. I usually play golf at weekends. The amateur golf player like us really love to play this kind of tournament, and the professional players can also warm up their play through this tournament. I think the young golf players can also take a chance of taking part in this kind of tournament.
The dinner award ceremony of Yangon Golf Club 2020 annual at-home and members tournament was also held from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. The Yangon Golf Club was established in the year 1909, maintaining 2 golf courses, one 18-hole course at the present site in the Yangon, 12 miles north of the city, and the other 9-hole course on B Road, now replaced by the People's Park, by way of divided bonus or profit to make members of the club. Yangon Golf Club is popularly known as the premier golf club of Myanmar in recognizing of its historical background because of the contribution of selfless, devoted services for its development, both in kind and energy, by members of the council and club members through successive years since its founding. The original one-story timber bungalow was scattered by fire in 1933. The Robert II one was again destroyed by fire during World War II in 1943. In the year 2000, a new reception building was added again. The club is registered as a non-profit company, and no part of the assets of the clubs shall be paid or transferred directly or indirectly.
I am Jyoti Ritu. This is news reporting from MI Radio.
That's a report on the Yangon Golf Club 2020 annual at-home and members tournament. And here's the last report on Myanmar China Friendship Association awarding scholarships to 105 Myanmar students. 105 Myanmar students were awarded the scholarships from Myanmar China Friendship Association for this year, and the awarding ceremony took place on the 29th of February in Yangon. Thoda will tell us more.
Hello everyone, this is your reporter Thoda reporting you from MI Radio. Myanmar China Friendship Association presented scholarship to 105 Myanmar students at the awarding ceremony, which was hosted in the evening on 29 February. The ceremony took place at Myanmar Sports Hotel inside the Wuna Stadium. The scholarships are awarded yearly, and this is the 7th time for the association to host the ceremony for the scholarship awarding. The officials from Ministry of Education and Chinese Embassy in Myanmar, the officers from Myanmar China Friendship Association, and the representatives from regional universities and students who received the scholarship attended the ceremony. The ceremony started with the opening speech by Deputy Director of the Ministry of Education, Wu Seng-wei, and followed by President of Myanmar China Friendship Association, Wu Seng-wei Ao.
It has been 7 years that we awarded that scholarship. Altogether, 105 students are awarded this year, and 16 of whom are medical students. There are 23 students who are going to graduate this year, so we will award 23 new students next year from states and regions. And of course, I'm very glad that the students we awarded yearly will soon graduate, and they will become doctors, engineers, and will become those personnel who are going to serve country as a service.
The president of the association mentioned that the success rate of the scholarship depends on individual, since they equally awarded to everyone, and the rest will be depending on the students.
Generally, everyone is an excellent student. That's why they pass the levels year by year and continuously receive the scholarship. We cancel the scholarship if they fail the exam. After they have graduated, they will go into respective organizations or do their own business and get success. We are glad to see that, and that's all we are hoping for.
Wu Seng-wei Ao shared that all the students who have already passed the matriculation exam and have difficulties in continuing the study can apply for the scholarship. The students from states and region can apply to the regional Myanmar China Friendship Association, or they can directly mail and apply to the association in Yangon. Deputy Director of the Ministry of Education, Wu Seng-wei, explained that what are the procedures and ministry's contribution to the scholarship student selection.
School send the profile and the background of the student to the township level offices, then step by step verify and finally sent to the regional level ministry. After that, the ministry formed committee and negotiated with Myanmar China Friendship Association like how many students can be awarded and how to conduct one-by-one interview with the students.
Mamit Dunai, who is currently studying at University of Medicine 1 Yangon, has received the scholarship continuously since 2014. During the interview, she said that due to the scholarship, she could study the past 5 years without difficulties, and she is very grateful for that.
I want to say thank you, and I'm happy for receiving this scholarship. For the students like us
who passed the matriculation exam with high grades and have difficulties in continuing study. The association provided us to continue to study, and we are very grateful for that.
She also encouraged the younger generations to study harder in the matriculation exam in order to receive the scholarship from the association like her. The association has awarded 647 scholarships in total since the establishment. In the past years, the students were awarded 300,000 Myanmar kyats for each, but this year the scholarship amount is raised to 500,000 Myanmar kyats. Okay, so that's all about the report now. This is your reporter daughter reporting you from MI Radio, and see you again.
That's all we have for today's reports. Let's move on to international news here on Myanmar Today. The World Health Organization on Tuesday warned of a global shortage and price gouging for protective equipment to fight the fast-spreading coronavirus and asked companies and governments to increase production by 40% as the death toll from the respiratory illness mounted. The virus continued to spread in South Korea, Japan, Europe, Iran, and the United States, and several countries reported their first confirmed cases, taking the total to some 80 countries hit with the flu-like illness that can lead to pneumonia. Health officials have said the death rate of COVID-19 is 2 to 4% depending on the country and may be much lower if there are thousands of unreported mild cases of the disease. The Ministry of Finance on Tuesday said China had allocated a total of 108.75 billion yuan in special funds by 2nd of March for the prevention and control work of the novel coronavirus. The funding was part of the country's comprehensive supporting measures to combat the COVID-19 that killed 2,984 people as of Wednesday and stalled industrial production after an extended Lunar New Year. In other news, from 6 p.m. on February 29th, rioters gathered outside Mongkok police station and blocked traffic. They used laser pointers against police officers, threw petrol bombs, and set fires on the road. Rioters even claimed to be infected with COVID-19 and coughed on the police. Mongkok MTR station was once again closed. Also, rioters are suspected of lighting a fire outside a general clinic at Kwai Chung. Since the outbreak, many clinics and quarantine centers in Hong Kong have been set on fire. The World Bank Group on Tuesday announced it will provide up to $12 billion in immediate support for countries coping with the health and economic impacts of the novel coronavirus. The World Health Organization Chief Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus praised the efforts that the World Bank made and commented on Twitter, quote, "It's so important for all partners to unite now against coronavirus." As of 3rd of March, over 91,000 cases of COVID-19 have been confirmed worldwide and a total of 74 countries have been affected with the novel coronavirus, according to the WHO. The WHO's focus on concern is shifting the countries outside China where COVID-19 is now spreading much faster than within the country. And that's all we have for today. Thanks for joining me on Myanmar Today. I'm Henry Zin. Have a great day, everyone. I'll see you again tomorrow. Bye-bye.